Vets of Reddit, what was the worst pet name you have ever encountered in your job? Klitzy. Sexy, for a chihuahua. Just made the whole consultation very awkward. If you could just lift sexy up here please, thank you. Now I might need your help to hold sexy down. I'm going to put this in your butt sexy, but I'll be quick. Yes, but will you bring sexy back? Yes, since the other boys obviously don't know how to act. Yay. Take it to the bridge. My old neighbors apparently thought it would be a good idea to let their 3-year-old name their dog. The dog was named Dump Truck. Had a client who let each of their 3 children name the cat. The poor cat's name ended up being Hungry Jack Biscuit. A cat named Jack, or Biscuit doesn't seem so bad. Yes, but we had to call him Hungry Jack Biscuit every time. They were very insistent we use the full name. I'm also very particular you call my tiny Jack Russell Zeus, God of Thunder. That, or dog. My friend's aunt has a cat named Titties. Can we come play with her aunt's titties? Don't worry, we won't touch her feline though. Old neighbor lady had a cat named Face because it had a beautiful face, she said. That actually works great if she has 3 other cats named Hannibal, Bah, and Murdoch. Bah, I pity the fool who tries to get me in that cat carrier. Murdoch, have some milk, bah bah, milk does a body good fool. Thumb snores. My dad has always wanted a dog named Ashim, so when someone asks what your dog's name is you can just say Ashim edit. Thanks for the free award smile. That's quality dad joke there. I was once at the dog park and this lady kept yelling at her dog. Kevin. Get over here Kevin. Let me take your picture Kevin. Kevin. Kevin was an old, overweight black lab. I still laugh when I think about it. I'm a vet. Senior year in vet school, all the students meet in the morning to review what's coming for their service that day: surgery, internal medicine, onco, etc., and pick cases. On the roster one day was a dog named Near. This was rural Washington in the 90s, so not the most enlightened place or time. We had one black student in our class, a smart and fiery woman. After some gasps from the students, she claimed the case and set about to read up on it. The people and the poor dog showed up, and this student went in to get the history. I can only imagine the looks on the owners' faces. The student said the exchange went something like this: Vet student, hi, I'm future Dr. X, I'll be working with you today. I see your dog is named Near. For today, let's just go with Lucky. I can't recall how the rest of the case went, but this was a proud moment for our class. XGF was a vet nurse. She came across a cat in the system called Horatio Bradshaw Roadwork. Edit, thanks for the gold. Don't be a shit lord, I'm just being polite. They asked for the worst name, not the best. My brother-in-law named his cat Salad. I once did that too. Diego? That you? Not me going through your previous post to find your name, is it you, sibling? My name is Tony. I've never heard that name. Where is it from? Forgotten fourth member https://n.m.wikipedia.org Wikitony. Tony. Ton. Obligatory not a vet disclaimer, but story at a vet's. My roommate had a dog called Taquito, and we once had to go to the emergency vet at night because it was having trouble breathing. The dog goes in with the vet and maybe half an hour later a vet's assistant comes out, goes straight for the Latino-looking couple at the other end of the waiting room and just asks them Taquito. They were looking so confused and slightly offended, especially since the assistant kept repeating it when they didn't answer. My roommate was slow on the uptake with it being the middle of the night and just being frozen on the spot by the awkwardness of the moment, but she finally spoke up and said Taquito is my dog. No one looked at each other for the remaining time we were there. Edit, thank you for the awards and for sharing your similar stories. It makes up a little for still cringing about that moment 10 years later. Edit 2, a bit more info about Taquito. He was a rescue and my roommate just kept his name because I guess it just fit. He was fine on that night, just a case of kennel cough that went away on its own. He went on to live a full life of being the worst dog ever and passed away of old age. Oh, I'm getting secondhand cringe from this one. My first pet that I can remember getting was a fish when I was about 3 or 4 years old. I named him Clock because I happened to be looking at a clock when my mom asked what I wanted to name him. My 4-year-old tried to name our puppy Refrigerator. So how's Fridge doing nowadays? Seems to be running around in the park. Kitty. Now you may be wondering why that's a bad name. Kitty was an iguana. Edit, should add I met this iguana when I was taking my dog to the vet. I'm not a vet. This is my favorite so far. I'm not a vet, but this is somewhat related. One of our dogs is a pug. We got him a long time ago from a bad home. My wife and I kind of waited around too long to give him a proper name, so now we still just call him Pug or the Pug. I'm a little embarrassed when I take him to the vet and they ask his name and it's just Pug. You could always say his full name is Pugless, like Douglas, and Pug is just his nickname. Pugless P. Arthur. Esquire. My wife and I, girlfriend at the time, named our first dog Puddles, which we quickly realized was pretty duck and dumb, so we registered him as Sir Puddlesworth, Esquire. True story. Now we just call him Puds though. My wife calls me Lord Whistlebottom. For obvious reasons. Edit, I love all these comments. And this Reddit. Hi-ho Silver. My dog's name was Freddy. The vet put it in as Freddy. I felt so ridiculous, and never told them that's not how he spells his name. The vet tech entered Popsicle's name as Popcycle and I have never been more offended. My cat doesn't even have pedals or anything for riding. What the hell? Not a vet, but I once knew a cat named Hitler. He was named that because he was all white except for a black spot where the mustache would go. He was a stray, but everyone in the neighborhood knew him and left food out, and he answered to that name. Edit, Jesus ducking Christ. I get it, peddler. Very original. 127 replies. I met a cat with the same features but his name was Chaplin. Edit, taking the opportunity to say that my cousin's dogs are named Bacteria and Morphine. Poor animals lol. The classy choice. You can't take off the hat, though. My cat's name is Shoe. That must be very confusing for him. Are you calling his name to get him to come to you or are you trying to get him to come away? He's very ignorant of his name. When I call it, he acts like I say any random word. Your cat thinks that you're calling your shoe and is judging you for thinking it can walk on its own. One of my boys wanted to name one of our dogs Meat Stack. My son was 6 when we adopted the puppy. Same kid wanted to name his brother Turtle Flower when he was born. Needless to say, he is not in charge of naming things in our household. My older daughter wanted to name her baby sister either Light of Stars or Mr. Moochinbot. This from the child who names her stuffies after what kind of animal they are. I love Mr. Moochinbot. There was once a guy that was selling his black cat. He called it Asta. Asta was a group of soldiers from Croatia in the 1990s. They are taboo today because of the things they did. Didn't Hitler Nazis disown that group because they found the things they did were so heinous? Yup, they were horrified. You know it's bad when literal Nazis think you're taking things too far. Shockingly enough, the Croatian president actually posed with a group of neo-Nazis in front of the Asta flag a few years back. Therese actually an annual Holocaust Remembrance Day that the Croatian Jewish community has been boycotting because the government continues to humor fascist groups. Imagine being bad enough that even Hitler rejects you. Envelope. Actually, Darren, it's pronounced envelope. My cat's name is John Hinckley Jr., because he was a stray that stalked me for a year and killed things to give me as offerings. Not a vet. I know, sorry, my dad adopted a stray cat who wandered into his yard once. The first time he saw the cat, not much past kitten stage, his response was, "What a little shit." Little shit became the cat's name on the vet paperwork. The sad part was that she got her leg caught in a door once, and ended up having it amputated. Which led to a really awkward conversation in grade school, before I was old enough to know better, when I told my teacher that my dad has a cat with 3 legs, and her name is Little Shit.